Hi, Empoweristas. It's Alex Wehrley, and I am joined by the beautiful Jessie Golden, who is a single mom, a yoga instructor, a model, the creator of the Golden Secrets, and so many more things that I don't have time to mention. Basically, you're extremely dynamic and do so much, and I know that's one of the main messages that you want to share with women, is that you don't have to fit in a box like society often tells us to, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about how you found that for yourself.
It kind of happened, naturally and organically, and I was raised by a single mother who kind of did it all and set the bar really, really high. Now that I'm looking back on it, I really followed in her footsteps, not really being aware that that's what I did, but I had a good example.
What were some of the boxes that people tried to put you in?
Well, if you're a model, you're a model. You know what, I really noticed this with social media now, because it seems like that there's pages and there's categories and there's followers. So it's like you're a model and then you only post modeling stuff. And if you're a single mother or a mother, then you only post pictures with your children. Or if you're a yoga teacher, then it's all got to be yoga things. And I think sometimes I really confuse people because one second I'm modeling, doing something in that regard, and then the next second I'm with my son, and then I'm in a crazy yoga pose, and I think they're like, whoa, who is this? What is she doing? It's too much going on.
But at the same time, I've seen your Instagram page, and it's so beautiful and inspiring, and I do feel like there's a common thread and mission underneath. To me, it's not confusing.
Thank you.
Like, you have all these buckets and categories, but yet there's a thread through it, and so therefore I think you're such a good example of how you can be multiple things at the same time and make it work. What would you describe as that thread that connects it all?
I try and be really transparent with it all as much as I can, and always be positive. Even when I am going through something and I'm being transparent about something I'm going through, at the end of it, I always try and end it with a positive thing. I don't use the platform that I've created to be like Debbie Downer or anything.
Yeah.
I always try and be positive and uplifting.
Yeah, and the parent company, if you will, is the Golden Secrets.
Yes.
What are the Golden Secrets?
Ooh. Well, the Golden Secrets originally started when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis years ago, like 9 years ago now. And I went through this whole journey, and I overcame after not being able to walk for about a year on my own. And everybody started asking me how I did that, what I ate, what I did, everything.
To overcome it?
To overcome it. I actually like to use the word thriving with rheumatoid arthritis because I still have it. It's not
You just
gone.
learned how to live with it.
Learned how to live with it. But I was getting all these emails and messages, and I just couldn't keep up with it all. So I was like, I need to start a blog to share the Golden Secrets. My last name is Golden, and it's the secrets. So it really started with just sharing some of the tools I use to help me overcome and thrive with rheumatoid arthritis. And now it's, transpired into all different avenues, much like, we were just talking about. There's yoga, there's health, there's parenting, spirituality, I'm a holistic health practitioner, and there's all kinds of things on there. And it's an app as well, and I also have an essential oil line.
She really does do it all, people. And you were telling me off camera that you also deal with the hypothyroid. Is that correct?
Yeah, it kind of goes, from what I've learned, it really goes hand in hand. A lot of people that suffer with RA or autoimmune diseases tend to have hypothyroid issues, unfortunately. It's all kind of connected, and it's all part of it.
And what does it mean to have a hypothyroid?
It means your metabolism isn't running as it should. It's lower than normal, which is funny because a lot of people would think I'm hyperthyroidism. I'm like, no, it's hypo. Other things could be like brain fog, skin issues, cold hands, cold feet, cold intolerance. It really affects your whole system and your whole mood. So a lot of people actually have it and are undiagnosed.
Interesting. And it was very interesting what you said about a lot of people would assume that you have hyperthyroid because people make a lot of assumptions about people, especially when it comes to their physical appearance, which you've seen firsthand being a model.
Yeah.
And of course now there's more diversity in modeling, but all ends of the spectrum, whether you're a plus size model or a more traditional skinny model, get body shaming, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's amazing where the industry's going now with, plus size models being on the cover of major magazines and all different, ethnicities and shapes and sizes being
Which is
accepted.
amazing. Yeah.
But it's interesting to me because sometimes I still get I'll post a picture of me in like a crazy yoga pose where I'm bent so my ribs will protrude, and then, I get all the comments about you need to eat a burger or something, and I'm just like, oh geez. I mean, I don't give in to any of that, but
Yeah.
I do like to bring the awareness that body shaming, comes in all shapes, forms, and I have several friends that can't gain weight if they wanted to, and
They eat the burger
yeah,
and they can't eat
and
and
it's
gain
just
weight.
how their body type is. And
Because healthy looks different on everyone. Everyone
That's
kind of
right.
has like a different set point.
right, exactly.
Obviously, there's no one size fits all to fitness and wellness, but let's get a little insight into what your lifestyle's like.
Growing up as a ballerina, I was taught to, push through everything and just fight every day to be the best that you can. And that wasn't always such a kind way of growing up. It's still challenging for me to find comfort in taking care of myself when taking care of myself means maybe taking a nap or doing something that's not so strenuous and hard on my body. When I found yoga, I really started learning about that and the mind and body connection and being kinder to yourself and giving it what it needs at that present moment instead of just being a robot. My day begins with checking in and seeing how I feel that day, and that includes with diet. I really listen to what my body needs, and as far as exercise, the same thing. Some days I'm feeling amazing and I'm feeling really strong and I can power through, a 2-hour yoga and go for a hike. Other days, maybe just a walk around the block or like stretching in my bed is enough, So I really am a big believer in listening to your body and giving what it needs each day with diet and everything.
Mm-hmm. And one of the categories that you write about and talk about is parenting, because you're a single mom.
Yes.
Tell me about what your philosophy is when it comes to parenting.
Well, as he's 12 now, so it's definitely changed. But when I started writing, I was sharing a lot about natural childbirth and breastfeeding and co-parenting, and now he's 12, and it's a whole. I mean, it's constantly evolving, and I'm constantly learning along with him. And I always say he's actually one of my greatest teachers.
I bet. Yeah.
And I say this to one of my hardest patients, like our client, as a yoga teacher and holistic health practitioner. Well, now it's interesting because he's like a little adult. Just giving him respect and listening to what it is that he wants, and that might not always be with what I agree with, but honoring that that's his path and trying to encourage and give him the best platform so that he can do what he wants to do, even if it's not always what I'm like really interested in, especially because he's a boy, so we're into different things.
Lastly, what is your definition of empowerment?
When I think of empowerment, I really think of women supporting women and raising each other up instead of tearing each other down. I'm so blessed. I have a really amazing team of women, including my mother, who kind of led the pathway, but I have an amazing group of friends, and we all really empower each other, and when one of us is weak, we're stronger, and I really think that that's what empowering is, and I honestly think women are going to save the world. If we do that, everything's going to be okay.
What do you think that's unique about women that has that little factor that could save the world potentially?
Compassion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's something that men have and can have just as much as women, but I think it's nurtured more in women. It's seen as more acceptable. Mm-hmm. And perhaps some women are just born with a little bit extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love what you say about women empowering women, because I think society's starting to catch on that that's ultimately what's best, but sometimes there's the message of you should be competitive with each other, and it's me against her, but that doesn't do any good for anyone.
Yeah. I was taught, my mom taught me as a young girl, and And I'm so grateful growing up in dance competitions and everything was competing. But the message behind it was always about competing with yourself and doing the best that you can, and that there's enough room for everybody. Like there's no reason for, I don't even like the word jealousy, but there's no reason to, because there's enough room.
Totally.
You have your own thing, I have my own thing, and you know, every woman out there has their own little thing on it.
It takes trusting that we live in an abundant world, though, you know, and I think some people don't internalize that we do live in such an abundant world, so there's enough to go around.
Yeah, there's enough to go around.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let us know what your definition of empowerment is using #EmpowerRista, and we'll show you some social media love.